Arise, minions, and batten down the hatches as we leave behind the safety of the Humblewood to check in with the crew of Dark Fortunes.
Hello, I'm Rory, aka Final Gambit, and I am playing Silence Furuiken, Level 2 Mapok Warlock.
Hi, I'm Mike, and I'm playing Mimir Elderbrand, the Level 2 Corvum Bard.
Hi, I'm V Muse, and I'm playing Sionnach MacTyre, Level 2 Vulpin Fighter.
Hi, I'm McLokin. I'm playing Auryn, the Level 2 Servan Barbarian.
Hi, my name is Johnny. I'm the Dungeon Master. Welcome to the Dark Fortunes podcast.
Hey there, listeners, it's Ishan.
And Shane from the Total Party Thrill podcast.
Oh, another actual play show.
Nope, because no one wants to hear the two of us in character.
Well, which means it must be one of those interview shows.
Not at all. We talk about topics that help listeners create and play better RPGs.
Oh, right. It's a podcast for game masters and players where we discuss our campaigns in order to inspire yours.
Dude, that's literally been our tagline for 3 years.
I mean, it doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. How about Total Party Thrill? Get better game.
All right, look, the tagline doesn't matter as long as the content is good. Like episode 168 on mind control. Wait, Ishan, did you just force me to say it like that?
No, you're thinking of the episode on gaslighting.
Oh.
We also recap our Eberron and Warhammer 40k home games and review new RPGs and books.
And every episode, we build a 5th edition D&D character in the Character Creation Forge.
I'm partial to the Sexy Beast, a high charisma druid who's still the party face, even in animal form.
All right, I'm sold. Where can I find Total Party Thrill?
Well, right here on DSPN, or on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher.
Or check us out at www.totalpartythrill.com.
Previously on Dark Fortunes. With a roll of the dice, a new crew was obtained from Captain Barton. But soon enough, the real challenge was at hand. A conversation with Din. A conversation which proved difficult at best, and left the crew with even more riddles.
The sound of seagulls greets all of your ears as the dawn on the second day, the sun begins to rise. Where do we find each of you after this long night, this long first day? Tell us how you spent the night, whether you slept, whether you were up doing research like Mim. Tell us how Silence wakes after the experience of letting Den inhabit him. Let's start with Silence.
I would like to think that Silence wakes up in a pile of his own drool, as the fists of servants are not polite, and so he'll be like, hello, having been thoroughly knocked out cold, waking up suddenly in the morning, like, who am I? Who are you? But no one's there. At least he doesn't think anyone's there. His like vision's hazy, still like partially concussed.
Did we untie him?
I would hope so.
I thought you guys brought him downstairs, but that was...
Oh, that sounds like something we'd do.
Not just gonna leave him tied up to the mainmast. Well, he'll be good for the night. He's not a sensitive boy or anything.
Hope he sleeps through it.
Yeah, so waking up in a tizzy, tangled in the hammock, obviously falling out of the hammock. Maybe, I don't know. He's got some pretty sweet balance. That's open for like, I don't know, some omniscient being to decide.
I feel like if he wakes with a start and like makes noises of confusion, that wakes Mimir, who is very much passed out like a college kid pulling an all-nighter on the table that is positioned in the middle of where like all of the hammocks are. And he has all of his notes and stuff from the conversation, from the box, from everything, just like scattered on the table. And he passes out and he wakes up with one like torn sheet stuck to the side of his face. What is happening here? What are you doing?
I don't know. What are you doing?
I was researching, and then all of a sudden you started making noises, and is it daytime?
Last thing I recall is that I gave up some of my consciousness, and then I woke up here.
Your friend is an ass.
Din, yes, I'm aware.
Oh.
I told you as much.
It was not nearly as pleasant a conversation as I would have expected, and I'm sorry about your face.
And Science will, like, gently push up against his face, like, inspecting the bruising around his cheeks. Just like, ooh, it was quite the blow, I imagine. Was it you, Mimir?
Oh, God, no. I wouldn't. No, your friend was sassing me, and I wasn't for it. So I had Auryn strike you unconscious.
Senpai's fists are very deft.
It was one
Powerful.
merciful blow.
As I would expect from him.
We figured the least amount of punches would be the best.
I will congratulate him on his good work.
So as Silence is sort of untangling himself from the hammock, Mimir, talk about what's strewn across the table here.
He has star charts from Sionnach. The star charts, he has a compass, he's a sextant, he has the calipers, he has the box, which is closed and locked, the key is in his pocket. He has his notebook out. He has all 105 questions from Milo are rolled across the table that he is periodically reviewing and jotting notes down in the margins. He has the notes about Silence that he was writing in chalk on the table, and he has several pieces of information that he has written about Din and their conversation and how informative and yet uninformative he was through the course of that.
As you awake, are you leaving all of this there, or is this something that you're going to start like collecting and kind of putting together?
I don't think he's gotten up from the table. He has continued to sit there. If Silence leaves, he just kind of like waves at him and continues. He understands that there is a new crew coming soon, so he'll probably take his time and meticulously put it away, and also like clean up his stuff, bring the box upstairs as well. So like you won't see Mimir up topside for a good 20 or so minutes until he gets his affairs in order.
Okay. All right. So as the two of you are sort of stirring and you know, putting yourselves together, where do we find Mac?
The tear bringer.
Mac is going to be top deck, and it's, you know, as soon as the sun starts to break above the horizon, her eyes pop wide open, and she sort of had fallen asleep on a chair, well, actually 2 chairs, one to sit on and one to prop her feet up on. So she had been below deck during the night hours as well, but as soon as it started to break daylight, she'd get up and leave Mimir sleeping as well as Silence and head back up and check to see if Auryn was asleep, and pretty much just sort of walk around and take stock of everything and just start doing the little things to prepare for the new crew to come, making sure the ropes have been coiled up properly, checking the sails, making sure there's enough in reserve if for some reason, you know, sails unfurled, wait, there's a rip. Basically preparing the boat itself so that when the new crew comes, it looks like they know what they're doing and they have their act together, even though she knows it's far from it. And once all that's done, she'd probably stand at the front, just sort of taking in the scope of the bay area and the other boats that are moored, and sort of just narrow her eyes and just have her arms crossed. And she's more deep in thought, just pondering over the current situation between what's going on with Silence, with what she's found out about the Pirate Queen and everything like that.
Give me some sort of a check as you're looking over the I'm thinking that a straight up intelligence check is going to hear about just you're looking over the ship, and just kind of checking all the rigging and checking the sails and checking, you know, the rudder to make sure that it's just give me a straight up intelligence check, unless, yeah, I don't think there's anything else that really applies here effectively.
Okay, that's going to be an 18.
Okay, cool. So as you're kind of going through, given this is your first real opportunity to kind of take over, you know, sort of take the opportunity to kind of go over all the gear in detail, the rigging, you know, sort of checking the mast and the sails themselves, you get a sense that the ship, while in good working condition, wasn't well maintained, and that some of the rigging is starting to fray a little bit. And that the sails, while one of them, the mainsail, appears to be in good condition, There are a number of stitchings going on, such that in either a really bad storm or, you know, if something else were to cause a rip or a tear, then it might be problematic to actually maintain. So you have some concerns, but otherwise think that you should be able to get far enough along your journey to be able to, you know, figure out what's next and where you're going to be able to, you know, to enact these repairs. So, and as you're kind of doing all of that, where do we find Auryn?
What time is it right now? So he probably sat at the brow, waiting for like people to come up or anything, or keeping guard, but like slept like cross-legged and like in front of where anyone could get in. And when like dawn starts to hit, he would wake up and kind of just stand up, do some stretches, be, you know, Auryn, like kind of swinging his axe a little bit to the open air and kind of just waiting and guarding.
Where does Auryn choose to like make his, I guess, for lack of a better word, bedding or nest? Is he, you know, is it you know, starboard? Is it port side? Is it stern? Is it where? I mean, where does he find himself? Because the basic deck of the ship for the most part is just one flat space, but there is a slightly raised place for the conning tower.
Yeah, I would say he is at the very front of the ship, where the keel like comes up and the mast like goes out. Since it's a sloop, I don't think there's like a giant like ornate thing on it, but like that's where he's staying up in the front.
Okay, all right. As you wake, you see Mac moving around the ship, checking the rigging, and as you're kind of getting finished with this, you can see that Dolan is making his way to the ship, casually moving, but with purpose. Not the frail sort of individual that you saw last night. Somebody who looks invigorated, if for no other reason than he feels free. And in his mouth is a corncob pipe that is smoking very slightly as he moves forward. His clothing still the same sort of tattered, but a pack that looks well loved and well maintained and full of things well maintained on his back, just, you know, kind of like coming towards the gangplank. And as he steps up, he yells, "Permission to come aboard?"
Of course, Dolan. Climb on up.
Thank you, Captain.
It's Mac right now.
Thank you, Mac. But if you prefer, I'd like to call you Captain, because when the men get here, I want to make sure and set a tone of authority.
Works for me. But when it's just you and I, no one in earshot, Mac is fine too.
As you say, Mac. Orders?
Well, I just did an inventory, and unfortunately it's looking a little bit ragtag team in terms of state of affairs with rigging and sails and the such. If you could just do another cursory glance, make sure that you're seeing the same thing I am. We need to write up an inventory list where we next land and fix that as soon as possible.
Aye. Working a stow my gear.
Below deck. I'll show you the way. Just give me one moment, all right?
Mm-hmm.
For now, she'll turn and look. Auryn, perhaps you can show Dolan the ship. This area of the ship. And she'll sort of just let that hang in the air and make her way down to where Silence and Mimir are.
Does he have giant antlers, or is he...
He is not... I don't remember how many points we actually declared, but in my head, if I remember correctly, he doesn't have quite a large set of antlers. It's much smaller. He's not what would be known as like an excellent specimen of a servant. Also, a couple of them look like they have been notched or otherwise sort of like trimmed or cut like from battle. Like, so he look, this is a servant who's, I believe we described in his 50s. He's a little world weary. He's also been under an immense amount of abuse from the work that he was doing for Barton. So, right, he was basically a slave for the most part. So he is definitely world weary. So he's a little bit thinner, a little bit more gaunt. There's patches of his fur that are a little bit like mangy or not kept correctly. There's some bald spots. And yeah, his antlers are definitely not strong and extravagant. They're definitely normal, if not a little sort of mangled.
I'm so sorry, but when you said the number of horns in relation, or the number of antlers in relation to being an excellent specimen, I just snapped to servant culture, where it's a bunch of female servants oh my god, have you seen Auryn? He had 14 points. That's what's sexy in servant culture, is the number of points.
He's so horny.
He had
I'm sure the guys over at the Deck of Mini are absolutely going to love us having a conversation about dating culture, or
I'm gonna tweet this one.
Servant mating habits.
All right.
Look here, we see the mating habits of the servant.
That's how servant do. Okay. I look at his horns, his antlers, and I kind of gauge the entrance to the lower decks. Doesn't look like he could fit.
Barely, if he turns his head and kind of turns his head and walks a little sideways as he does that. But yes, he could fit below. It's very clear that you will never ever fit down there, given the fact that the ship wasn't designed to accommodate somebody with such a large sort of offering of antlers.
I look at what was his name again?
Dolan.
I look at Dolan, and as I'm looking him up and down, I go, well, you might be able to get below decks if you know how to move your head around to get into that space. I stay up here, up towards the front of the ship, and watch the plank thing.
That's called a gangplank, son.
Gangplank. I watch it. If anyone comes up that doesn't belong, I kill them.
And I imagine that you're probably very good at it.
I've killed quite a few things.
I believe that. Where are you from? And what's your name, lad?
Oh, Auryn. Stormbreaker. Where did I come from? It's been a long time. I came from the forest. There was a lot of us. Well, it used to be. I'm far away from home, that's all I know.
I can tell. I am too. Let me get my gear stowed and do as the captain says, and I'd love to hear the tale. Maybe we can share a skin of wine. But for now, lad, could you show me the deck? Show me what you might have seen that might be a problem here. I could use your help.
Okay. He looks around, and he doesn't really know what to say because he doesn't understand how anything works. He just kind of is told what to do, and then he does it. He looks and he just goes, well, a lot of times, when we're coming in or doing anything like that, like bringing the sails up, we haven't had a lot of people on board.
Aye, and that's about to change. And your job becomes a little simpler and a little bit harder as well, I imagine. Don't worry, though. You'll learn. I'll be happy to teach you if the captain isn't available to instruct. It's all simple things. It takes time. I wouldn't worry about it.
I'm good at pulling the metal thing into the water and pulling it back up.
Anchors are very very heavy, and you seem quite capable of being able to support that particular job.
I thought it was a hook to capture giant fish.
No, those look quite different, but I wouldn't be surprised if an anchor has been used a time or two.
Can we throw the anchor at people?
And Dolan just kind of looks at you a little surprised, and you see him about to speak, and then he kind of grits his jaw down and kind of chews on the end of the pipe stem for just a second, ready to speak again. And, it's this sort of like reaction back and forth. And finally he says, I've never thought about that as a tactic before. Why don't you and I speak to the captain about that sometime when she's available to entertain new ideas for protecting the ship?
Okay. Other than that, there's the wheel, and then there's this stuff, and then the below decks. I've not seen there. I can't fit.
I can see that. You look to be quite a magnificent example of our species.
Kareth blessed me.
I have always had difficulty going down below deck as well, but I've been on a ship for years and years, and I understand how to navigate that way now. Plus, I've had a couple of my points moved in various conflict.
Oh.
Hopefully you don't suffer that same fate. It's not painful, but it's a little embarrassing.
They do grow back.
Mine don't.
Why?
I was sick as a child, and the healer that cared for me explained that in my case, they may never grow back.
Well, I will not think any less of you if they don't. For they're just things, and they are not the strongest, so sometimes they will break. But it's whether you can still take a breath that matters. Because then you can fight another day.
And Dolan just kind of looks at you with a newfound level of appreciation. You're quite right. That's very wise of you. Now, if you'll continue to show me around, I would love to see. I would love to see the helm and the aft of the ship. And we're going to cut to Mac heading downstairs.
We all know that the worst part about playing a spellcaster in your favorite 5th edition fantasy RPG is having to write down all the intricate details of every spell in your notebook, or flipping to the back of the book every time you forget what a spell does. But what if I told you there was a better way? Lucky for you, there is. Our friends over at Hitpoint Press are launching their new Kickstarter for the Deck of Many animated spells. This new Kickstarter will include waterproof, artistic renderings of spells levels 6 through 9, as well as a fully animated tarot deck for all your soothsaying needs. Not to mention, animated condition cards if we hit our stretch goals. So if you want to enhance your level of play at the table, head on over to rebrand.ly/DFP spells and pledge for your very own deck of animated spells. That's rebrand.ly/DFP spells, and be sure to tell them Dark Fortunes Podcast sent you. And as always, happy gaming.
She would definitely be making a point to stay a little bit quiet just to make sure she's not startling anyone, especially after what Silence went through the night before. So she'd get down there and just sort of poke her head through, and you'd see her narrow snout first, and almost like she's sniffing the air to see if she can sense there's a difference in the state of things, and then she'd poke the rest of her head through and, "Mimsy dear, you awake?"
Of course I'm awake.
"What about Silence?"
Silence, are you awake?
"I could have done that."
Oh man. Yes, Captain. Of course.
Next question. Milo.
Snoring in the background from Milo.
Let that one sleep. Silence, how are you?
Sore. in the face, but otherwise cheery, I suppose.
Well, that's something of a fortunate situation then. About the face, we sort of had to put Din to bed.
Understandable. Needs must as the devil drives.
Exactly. Look, Dolan just got here. New crew's coming soon. Best we sort of regroup and present ourselves as competent and capable.
Captain,
Yes?
what precisely is my role on this ship?
That's a very good question. You're rather observant. You're nice and quiet, no pun intended. Let me think on that one.
I could look out from the Mimir nest.
You could. Perhaps do that as your official title. And if you notice anything untoward or unusual, or perhaps things that people ought not be doing, and she'll sort of narrow her eyes and glance over to Mimir, come and tell me about it before you tell anyone else.
I think I can fill this position of Justicar on the ship. Yes.
Excellent. Sort of my consigliere.
It shall be so, Captain.
Wonderful.
Mimir, I retire to your nest.
What?
His silence is just like going up the stairs, waving his arm, like, goodbye.
She just has, there's just this grin playing across her face, and she actually takes her paw and sort of like covers her snout just to sort of hide the smirk a little bit more as she looks over to Mimir. How'd you sleep last night?
I don't nest. I don't know what he's talking about.
I do. It's hilarious.
Well, I don't like not being in on the jokes. I slept just fine. How were you?
I got sleep. It's good to see that Dolan arrived already.
Oh, did you say that the new crewmates are being led here?
Yes.
I should greet them as the owner of the ship, wouldn't you say?
First, you should put away everything that's sort of screaming, magical, weird objects.
I'm working on it. I'm putting it away. I have to bring it to the thing, the hidey hole.
Yes, put it in the hidey hole. Make sure it's safe.
Fine.
They're going to be sleeping down here, so we need to be a little bit more secure about that.
All of them?
Well, in shifts at the very least.
No, I mean like with me.
Sure, why not? It'll be a party.
Oh. Well.
I thought you liked company.
How does bathing work on a ship?
You throw a bucket over the edge of the ship, attached to a rope, of course, so you can pull it back up, dump it into a shallow basin, and you clean yourself in cold seawater.
Oh. So they will smell terrible then?
She's just grinning.
I like this arrangement less and less. I'm going to need to build a small room for myself, if that's at all possible. Perhaps on the top deck, where the rest of them are not. Is that possible?
That is a good question. Would it be possible to build a secondary sort of a quarters area?
I think you'd need to visit a shipwright in order to have that particular conversation.
Uh-huh. Of course that's going to be the answer.
As somebody who had spent a significant amount of time on ships, you've been on sloops and you've been on galleons, you've even been on a warship or two. Back of the napkin sort of response that you would have in that situation is yes, absolutely, but you would definitely need to speak to a shipwright to be able to ensure that it was secure. You could probably rig up something temporarily with like a curtain or something else, but I'm not sure that that's the kind of thing that Mimir's sort of looking for in respect to privacy.
Tell you what, next port we land, you can find yourself a shipwright and discuss the possibilities of creating a sort of captain's quarters on top deck.
Right. Of course, it's not just for me. I'm just saying if we're going to be researching this kind of thing,
Mimir, I agree.
Oh.
I agree. We need a place where we can keep all of this and keep it away from everyone else. Best to keep it in something called the captain's quarters to place a little bit of more authoritative intimidation to it.
Right. Speaking of intimidation, I should greet the new crew.
Oh, why intimidation?
They're strangers.
All right. But
Isn't-
why you?
Well, I'm going to intimidate them with you. I just
have to see
own
it. Fine.
I
All
own
right.
the ship. You're the authority here.
You're the man with a plan. Let's see where you're going with this one, darling.
Okay, well then. And he wraps up bundling his things together, stacks, like, he takes his books and puts it in his satchel, wraps up the box in whatever the canvas bag we had it in, and then makes sure to look around to where he was, like, his actual bunk was, and then grabs and re-slings the sword of one, was it Dirk? The merciless, the merciful.
It was a rapier
because he's
and it was
dead.
Dirk.
Rapier with a ruby
With a ruby end,
colored
yeah.
stone. Yeah.
A well-known piece of this defunct mercenary. He straps that on and proceeds to walk upstairs to go hide the box.
So-
Mimsy dear, hold on one second. And she
Yes.
removes like another piece of like paper off of his back. Just make sure you're putting your best foot forward.
Right. Thank you. He like takes that and puts it back.
So I want to be clear, along with grabbing everything off of the table itself, what are you doing to the notes and the sort of all the glyphs and symbols and spell work that you had put into the table itself? What are you doing with that? Are you erasing all of that, or are you leaving it on there?
It's chalk, so I assume I could just kind of rub that off there.
All right, that's what I was curious about.
Yeah.
All right, so okay, cool.
And then he proceeds upstairs to hide the box on the quarterdeck in that little cubbyhole that we found.
All right, and Milo is still sleeping and snoring loudly. Mac, are you heading back up to deck as well?
Oh, she's not missing this show. She is very much intrigued with this, and her tail's, sort of swishing back and forth in this, lazy amusement as she follows Mimir up to the upper area. And just, again, there's this sort of sly grin on her face, and she just sort of cocks an eyebrow to see what he's about to do.
The rest of the crew hasn't arrived yet, but you can see that Dolan is working, or is continuing to move around the ship with Auryn as Auryn explains what he understands in any given situation. But when he hears the rest of you coming up, he makes sure to grab your attention and raise an eyebrow with a nod sort of off to the side.
What's going on, Dolan?
And he kind of steps off and he says, "It's a good lad. He's going to have to be watched and shown, but I wanted to give you my assessment since you asked for confirmation. I agree. We're going to need to spend some time in port, a little bit longer than I would suspect, because I haven't been below deck yet. But I imagine that while the keel might be intact, there might be some needs of repairs below deck if the way that the various rigging and sails have been maintained up here."
Agreed. We'll probably need to get ahead of the rot before it actually takes too far.
Agreed. To which is my next point. With the crew that you have graciously hired coming aboard in just a few minutes, I would like to make a couple of suggestions.
Of course.
It's going to be important to them that the air of authority sticks. Them being Barton's patrons, for lack of a better word, you might want to, assert yourself a little bit. But from a logistical suggestion, we definitely should have someone, and I'm not suggesting any one of them, someone potentially serve as bosun. And it wouldn't hurt to have a quartermaster too, given the circumstances. This being a small ship, that would be my recommendation.
Yes, I was actually debating Silence as bosun. Right now he just thinks he's going to be the lookout. But he's a smart one, and he's a quick one.
I'm sorry I did not meet this...
You didn't. He wasn't there. He's the small one with the white stripe down his back. And she'll sort of cock her head.
I remember...
Silence is like trying to like climb up the rigging
Yeah.
ropes to get up to the crow's nest. Deftly though, very, very nice.
Dolan kind of looks up as paying attention to Silence, sort of, working his way up, and he says to Mac, I remember stories from my youth of their kind, but I've never seen one in person. That's interesting. Where did you find such an interesting traveling companion?
We bumped into each other at a Colosseum.
I imagine that's a tale.
Oh, it's a nice one. Perhaps someday over a nice cup of wine.
Agreed. And then Quartermaster is also something I would suggest. But those are my suggestions, you are Captain, so please.
No, I appreciate it. Quartermaster's going to have to wait. Auryn's sweet, but as you've noticed, he has a lot to learn. And he's also been rather sheltered.
What about the strange fellow that you've been traveling with, the one who talks a lot?
Part of me wants to hold the title just to hold it over him. And she'll just sort of smile.
I ask this in all delicateness because it seems like you're a little bit more informal with that particular gentleman versus... He looks up again at Silence. He says, is this a situation where I will need to help enforce the captain's authority?
With that one, always. More so that Mimir marches to his own... I don't even think it's a drummer at this point. Probably bagpipes or something along those lines.
Aye. And if you mind me saying so, otherwise, she's a good ship. What do we call her?
Fool's errand.
Excellent. Well, I will drop my gear below deck and then be ready to get the crew working as expected. Do we have a heading yet?
Kingdom of Den.
I see. Based on my understanding, it's about half a day's journey, although the wind is not necessarily working in our favor. We might be doing a little bit of tacking in order to get there. So it might be a day. But I think we should be able to get there by sunset if the crew arrives and we get moving.
Probably a better way to break everyone in and get to know each other, rather than do a longer journey than just a day.
Fantastic. All right. Well, then, if you'll give me your leave, I will get started.
I appreciate it, Dolan, and I would like your opinion on Mimir as quartermaster. It's a possibility, but I'd like another's opinion because Mimir and I do have a little bit of a history with each other, so I don't want that to taint things. And if you know there's someone coming aboard who might serve better, then let me know, and I can watch them.
Aye. Okay. Thank you. And he kind of looks back towards Mimir, kind of sizing him up as he makes his way towards the steps leading below deck.
Okay.
Anybody else want to do anything before the crew arrives? Do we want to have a silence moment as he gets to the Mimir nest?
No. Silence is just going to get up there and start looking around, all sorts of official, like, one hand above his brow, like trying to shade his eyes a little bit as he's surveying both the sea and the deck, the harbor below.
I'm waiting for people to walk up the gangplank or approach it.
So, Silence, as you get to there, you come up, you sort of climb up the mast, the rigging, and you get to the top there. You notice that the flag that is flying as a part of the ship is something that you really didn't take in before, and you can see that it's actually very plain. It's, a color of green that you can't quite sort of, figure how they got this particular green dyed in this particular way, but it's just this, like, almost pennant type of flag that just sort of flaps in the breeze, sort of indicating that the wind is blowing from the north. And as you're kind of taking a look around, you're looking around at deck, you can see that Auryn has positioned himself towards the gangplank and is just kind of looking out. As you kind of like begin to take in the rest of the town, as you can see that the town has started to wake up, and you kind of take in the sort of the surrounding area on the water, you can see that there are fishing boats, some rowed, a couple of little skiffs that actually have a mast and a sail, where there appears to be some fishing going on. And as you kind of like bring your gaze back around, you can see a group of 4 sort of making their way as one. 3 sort of like together and quite jovial. 1 looking a little aloof and just kind of taking in the situation and just kind of watching, paying attention to the 3 in front, and kind of watching, kind of looking around, and just making their way slowly to the gangplank. As we cut to Auryn, seeing 4 individuals kind of making their way up the gangplank.
This is a moment where Auryn stands up and stands in front of them and looks at them and brings his great axe to his shoulder and goes, "Who goes there? Or I'll kill you."
The one in front, looking a little concerned. Permission to come aboard? As I understand it, we were hired by Dolan and his captain to for a trip to the Kingdom of Den.
Is anyone, it's like Mac up there, or Dolan? I look at them and it's like, do they have permission or do I kill them?
Don't kill them yet, but they do have permission.
Okay, and I step back and let them on.
The 4 of them slowly move up, constantly keeping an eye on Auryn as they get onto deck and find themselves and push themselves sort of towards the center of the deck. And then bravely, one of them kind of turns and says, "Reporting for duty, Captain. I believe you hired us with Dolan last night?"
I did. And Captain MacTyre. Good to meet you all.
I have a question real quick. What do they all look like?
Ooh.
As I said before, 3 of them look like regular sailors, jovial. 1 looks to be a little bit more cautious, taking in the situation and the scene, looking a little bit more pensive, but trying to look relaxed.
What races are they?
You knew that was coming.
I did, and at the same time, what I was hoping for was a little bit of like an anonymity here so that we can meet them individually.
Classic DM foible.
Right.
What are their names?
So since you are asking, we will make them all sort of like here, right now. The one that looks like they are a little pensive and uncertain is a Mapach. And she just kind of, is really just sort of like bristly, and you can see that her fur is sort of like, tingly a little bit, and she's dressed in what would mostly be sailor garb. She's got a jerkin, she's got, pants, she's got, longshoreman boots, kind of a thing. She does have a blade on her side. It's a short blade, and she's got some other gear that would definitely be considered for your average sailor. So that's our Mapach.
Is she like raccoon-like?
Yes.
Okay.
She is definitely not the prime example of a Mapach in respect to that sort of raccoon physiology. The one thing I will say is that she looks a little bit thin for, her species. So, so that's the Mapach. There is a Gallus, who is the person who actually spoke up to Mac. So we've got a Mapach, we've got a Gallus.
Can I fill in one?
You are more than welcome to.
I want a gerbing that looks like a cute, adorable hamster.
Why?
Because I just want a gerbing that looks like a cute, adorable hamster.
Fine. You get a cute, adorable hamster. All right, so we got a gerbine, we've got a Mapach, we've got a Gallus, and let's say we've got a raptor. And so those are our 4. the Gallus, the Raptor, and the Gerbine are the ones who are more affable and appear to be comfortable, if not a little concerned about Auryn and his axe. It is the Mawpock who is a little bit more nervous, but never actually pays attention to Auryn. And the Gallus, addressing Mac, says, "What are our orders?"
Names first, orders next.
The second bane of a DM.
All right. Give me a Gallus's name, V.
Rupert.
All right. Give me that Gerbine Joe.
His name is going to be Patches McCallahan.
Patches McCallahan. All right. Give me a Mawpock's name, Rory.
Alatrax and Meyerhart III.
Can Mac call that one Trey at some point?
You can call it your captain. You can say whatever you want.
Alatrax and Meyerhart III.
I think we call it all Trey.
I think Trey is fine. I think Trey is perfectly fine. All right. I will write that down in just a freaking second because thank you, freaking V. All right. And Mike, give me a Raptor's name.
Oh, I wasn't included in this bit.
Yeah, you're getting included anyways.
A Raptor's name? Man, this is hard.
Shooter.
Let me go to fantasynamegenerator.com.
So this will get edited out, but this will be fun for the Patreon.
That's what you think.
Yeah, it's all staying. It's all staying in.
And you said she was skittish, right? Is that the one that was skittish? Oh, that was a Mawpock.
No, that was
Raptor
Trey. That was the
jovial.
Mawpock. So the Raptor is confident, if a little, sort of like quiet.
His name is Marlin the Mad Elton. Is his name?
Marlin Elton. Yes.
I would like to say Patches McCallahan. He's cute and adorable, but he sounds like this. Well, I'm Patches McCallahan.
You mean like what's his name? Patches O'Houlihan from Dodgeball? If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Maybe.
If you can dodge an anchor, you can dodge a ball.
I hate it.
All right, so Patches. All right, sorry. The note for Patches is going to be Rip Torn in Dodgeball.
Yep, perfect. What a motley fucking crew.
All right. So Rupert, looking forward, says, "Rupert, ma'am, this is," and points to the Gerbine. This is Patches McCallahan. The Raptor here. This is Marlin the Mad, although I believe his given name is Marlin Elton. And before Rupert can speak up, the Mawpock kind of looks up and she says, "You can call me Trey. That's what you can call me. You can call me Trey." And she just kind of she darts around and kind of looks a little bit and just, she seems nervous and skittish.
Right, so we have Trey, and she'll make eye contact with each of them as she's saying their names. Rupert, Patches, and Marlin the Mad.
And at the same time, as you get through all four, they all say, "Captain."
Get your things below deck, get yourselves settled, and come back up. We're going to set sail soon.
Aye. As one, they all say, and they all kind of look around, take in the riggings of the ship. And the condition of the ship as they move towards the stairs below deck.
Captain.
Auryn.
A question came up earlier. Can I throw the anchor at people?
I'm sorry, what?
Lad, as you can see, Dolan is coming up. Lad, I mentioned that we should talk to the captain together about that.
But we're all right here.
Yes, we are, but the captain has some other things that she needs to attend to right now.
Okay.
If you will be patient, I promise all of your questions will get answered, and we will consider this. I'm not even sure how to describe that. And he kind of looks over to Mac and just kind of shrugs a little bit.
Outside the box thinking.
Outside the box. If we had an extra anchor and then I could spin it And
Auryn, I like that you're coming up with ideas. However,
yes.
now's not the time to talk tactics for battle.
Okay. Should I bring up the gangplank?
We're going to need that up, yes, so we can leave. Why don't you do that? That'd be most excellent.
He starts pulling it up.
She'll just look at Owen. Like I said, he's eager, but he's got a lot to learn.
He has a lot of energy for this. We'll need to focus that energy as best as we possibly can.
Oh, Auryn, before you pull up the gangplank completely, we need to get the ropes undone first.
Okay.
I'll show the lad to do that.
He starts pushing the gangplank out because he's already almost had it up, and he's like, "Oh, okay."
Or Auryn, it's perfectly fine. Let's come. Let me show you how to untie these knots. They can be a little complex.
Okay.
And so Dolan will walk Auryn, over to the first one, and they'll begin to do that together. And while that's going on, what's going on for the rest of you?
Has the crew returned from the...
No, they are still below deck.
Then Mimir is he's pacing back and forth on the deck.
From below, you hear, what's going... hey, what are you guys? What? Hey, Auryn, help! Auryn! They're messing with me!
Oh, for the love of... So she'll, march down and, quickly get below deck. Milo, it's the rest of the crew.
What? Oh, what? Oh, I'm sorry. They were jostling the hammock, and I didn't understand.
Milo, you're fine. This is Milo, and she looks at the other four. He's our cabin boy. He's a talker.
I like the title cabin boy. What does it mean?
It means you stay by my side and you ask me all the questions you'd like for today.
Oh, okay, all right, that's great. But I've got questions for Mimir too. I wrote them all.
Not Mimir today. No, me.
Should I write them down?
That would be most excellent and well thought out on your part. You are learning.
Okay. And you see, as he goes, he jumps down out of the hammock, he moves over towards where he expects the papers to be. What? Where's my? I had a piece of parchment with a quill and some ink. I was writing questions from Mimir, and where is the where's
Milo? Come with me right now. I'll show you where it all is.
Oh, okay. Am I in trouble?
Absolutely not. I'm just showing you where everything is right now, and let the others get settled first.
Okay.
There's business at hand. We need to make sure we get going.
Okay. Should I call you captain in front of the crew?
Always. And she'll give a small little wink.
Hi, Captain. Okay, all right, let's go.
She'll walk up. And Milo will be right behind.
Oh, wow. Hi, Mimir. Hey, I have did you see my questions? I have questions for you. Did you see my questions?
He's awake.
Yes, I did see your questions.
Did you have any answers?
And he unfurls the scroll. He says, I have answered several of them. That's it. For now. I will answer more whenever I feel like it. And he hands him the parchment. This may be a little rude, but can I borrow an ink jar and a quill and another piece of parchment? I'm not allowed to ask you questions today, but I'm supposed to ask the captain questions that I need to write on another piece of parchment because I don't want to ruin the answers to your questions because I might have more questions after your answers on your parchment. Can I have another piece of parchment?
Milo, do you need your own parchment and ink when we land?
Yes.
Then I will make note of that.
Thanks, Captain. Can I go say hi to Auryn?
Yes, do it quickly though, but make sure you're not distracting him. He's learning something new about helping with the ship. Actually, you go and watch too. It's important you learn that work as well.
Okay. And he runs over. Hey, Auryn. Hey, Auryn.
Hello.
Who's your friend? Wow, he's like you.
Yes, he's Dolan.
Hi, Dolan. And Dolan kind of looks over to Auryn and says, "Friend of yours?"
Yes.
How did you no, okay. What's your name, lad? And Milo kind of looks up. It's Milo. It's Milo. And this is Auryn. Auryn's my best friend. And Dolan kind of looks at it. Shh. It's okay, lad. For now, just I would love to hear your story, but later. Right now, I'm showing Auryn something, and it sounds like the captain would like you to learn this too. So keep calm. But I'm gonna have lots of questions. I understand, lad. Give me just a few minutes, and I will answer all of your questions. Now, just watch. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Auryn, are you learning too?
I think so.
Okay. All right. I'll be quiet. And then Dolan begins to show the both of you again from the beginning how to untie one of these knots. As we cut back to the rest of you, as the crew begins to move above deck, and says, Rupert walks up and says, "Gear stowed. Orders, Captain?"
Get the ship ready. I want to set sail in a half an hour. The gangplank is going to be addressed. They're undoing the knots right now. Find yourselves ready to get sails up and anchor up, and let's get the hell to the Kingdom of Den.
Aye, Captain. First mate?
Dolan.
Just confirming, ma'am. Thank you. All right. And they all spread out to begin sort of, doing various things to prep the ship for sail. At which point, Dolan kind of like nods and says, "Ma'am, if you've got a moment."
Of course.
And he kind of points over. Messenger birds coming in from the south. I get the impression that might be trouble for you.
They normally don't always bring the best of news, no.
I can tell you that Captain Barton doesn't usually read those messages until after nightfall. He's too busy sleeping.
Then let's double time it and get the hell out of here as soon as feasibly possible.
He says, "Aye. All right. May I resume my duties as first mate?"
Absolutely.
"Rupert, come over here. Show Auryn and Milo here how to continue to untie these knots." And he starts to order the rest of the crew to begin to kind of move. As Mimir and Silence, you see the rest of the ship come alive as the crew begins to do its particular things. Silence, you also see the birds kind of flying in, and they stand out as unusual since they are not gulls. They're actually something else. They're like a pigeon of some kind. So they kind of come in and they land, and you can see that they're landing on the ship that's sort of anchored off in the distance that you've noticed before.
Okay.
All right, and so as the crew begins to make ready for sail, is there anything else that you want to do here in this scene?
Mac would be walking around and intentionally sort of furrowed brows and narrowed eyes, watching each one of them, and either making a sound if she notices something slightly off, or if she approves of what it is they're doing, sort of getting this quiet authority started with them. So it's more that she's not so much looking to be the shout and scream type, but she wants them to know that she's watching them at all times.
For the most part, the crew seems to be doing their job. Rupert and Patches and Marlin appear to be moving, with minimal sort of need for engagement about, but there's something definitely off about Trey. She continues to be skittish and kind of look around and kind of pay attention to everything as it's going. And she appears to be sloppy, but not sloppy because she doesn't have the skill, but sloppy because she's concerned about something.
Are you expecting someone, Trey?
I'm sorry, Captain?
You have a job at hand, and yet you're looking around as if there's someone about to jump out at you.
No, Captain. I'll get back to my work. And Trey immediately just kind of takes on this intensity that you realize that this is a person trying really hard not to do what they were exhibiting in front of you.
Trey,
Captain?
do I have need to be concerned about your presence on this ship?
No, Captain. There's pauses and hesitations. I'm sorry, Captain. I won't be any trouble at all.
My main concern is safety for everyone aboard.
No, Captain. There won't be any trouble. Everybody would be safe.
All right. And if you don't feel safe, you let me know.
Aye, Captain.
All right.
And she continues to just kind of focus and do her thing. Still, there's that little bit of agitation or intensity about her, but she continues to focus on what's her task at hand. And about a half hour later, or about 15 minutes later, since you told Dolan under double time, the ship appears ready to set sail.
Did I learn about knots?
You did learn about knots,
okay,
but it's going to require some skill checks the first couple times you use them.
Okay.
Or it's going to require more cute pictures of Rocket's butt. Because Rocket's butt is in canon.
He is. He's being a needy baby.
I would like to think that Silence is up top on the crow's nest, looking out to where the prow was reaching for the horizon, takes in like a nice deep breath of that sea air and goes, race along the tides, O fool's errand set your sails, against the four winds.
What happens when the winds are against you?
And Silence will not answer.
And that's where we'll end it.
Dark Fortunes is an unMadeGaming production and a proud member of the Don't Split the Podcast network. If you would like to learn more about the world of Dark Fortunes and get some behind-the-scenes looks, please join us on Patreon at patreon.com/unMadeGaming. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please take a minute to give us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. Thank you for joining us on this high seas adventure, and we'll see you next time on Dark Fortunes.
Dames and Dragons. Some have said, hilarious. Some have said, I cried. Some have said, it isn't just the best D&D content I've found, it's some of the best content I've experienced ever.
Some have said Corbin is the best part.
Well, some have said Fran is the best part.
Only you say that, Fran.
Some have said, shut up, Corbin!
Some have said, this podcast is jam on toast. Some being me, Leica.
Me, Leica, have said.
Me, Leica, this podcast.
Some have even dared to say, listen to Dames and Dragons, a D&D actual play podcast on Don't Split the Podcast network.